Welcome to Understanding Indicators, an educational video series brought to you by Strategic Trading. Our presentation today will feature the first part of our series on the MACD. For a copy of the complete series on the MACD, please visit our website or send an email request to support@strategictrading.net. Please pause the video and take a moment to read the disclaimer. Before we begin our presentation, we always like to review three of our key strategic trading guidelines. First and foremost, always analyze your chart in the full context of the market. Second, never rely on any one indicator. Learn to use confluence. Third, never trade without a planned and tested strategy. The MACD is an acronym for the Moving Average Convergence Divergence Indicator. The MACD was developed by Gerald Apple and is probably one of the most widely used indicators. Since the MACD is calculated based on the difference of two exponential moving averages, typically the default setting for the indicator is 12, 26, and 9. In this setting, the 12 represents the fast-moving exponential average, and the 26 period represents the slow exponential moving average, and the 9 period is our signal or smoothing line. The MACD is basically a market momentum indicator, or a trend-following indicator. There are certainly a number of different ways that we can use the MACD, and we will talk about all of them in the series, but today we will feature just one of those techniques in using the MACD. First, let's begin by taking a look at this chart for Apple computers. It is a 5-minute candlestick chart with two exponential moving averages on it and a MACD on the bottom panel. The green line represents our 12 exponential moving average on the chart, while the purple line is our 26 exponential moving average. Now let's take a look together at the different parts that make up the MACD itself. First and foremost, there's the MACD line. The purple line that you see on the MACD in front of you is what we call the MACD line. Then we have the signal line. It is the green line that you also see as part of the MACD indicator. The third part, or the third key element in our MACD indicator, is the zero line, or the center line. And you will find that this zero line, or center line, plays a critical role in how we use the MACD and the various parts of the MACD. Last but not least, the fourth part of the MACD is the histogram. And the histogram basically is nothing more than the difference that you see between the green line and the purple line, or the signal line and the MACD line. As the gap between those two lines increases, you will see that the histogram bars will also increase. As the gap diminishes or begins to decrease between these two lines, so will the histogram lines. Now let's take a look together at how we actually begin to use the MACD. The first key signal that we're going to look at from the MACD is the signal line crossing the zero line. You will note on the chart that we have two places where the signal line actually crossed the zero line on our MACD, and we've highlighted them with the red circles. Now in this first instance, the signal line crosses both the MACD line as well as the zero line to the lower portion of the zero line, or below the zero line, indicating a negative shift in prices towards the downside. And if we take a look at the top here, you will see that that is exactly what happened when the signal line did cross the 0 line. Prices started to drop precipitously up here on the chart. So you can see that things did start to drop as the signal line told us. Now, similarly up here, in this instance, the signal line actually crosses above the 0 line, and sure enough, prices did tend to go to the upside when that happened. So you will find that this is a fairly useful signal, even though it doesn't necessarily always come early in a trend, but when it does occur, it is a good indicator of what is to come as far as prices. Now, another thing I'd like to bring to your attention is when this crossing does in fact occur, take a look. Usually you will also find that it happens at a point where we get a crossing in the two moving averages that we have, and if you remember, we were using a 12 and a 26 average here on the chart. Keep that in mind and make sure you listen to the other parts of the series. There are many other useful ways to use the MACD. We invite you to visit us and watch the other parts of the series.